Oh, man. We're back for another one, Stoppage Time TV. You already know what it is. Alive in the flesh, live and direct. Hold tight, Chris will come on last week.
Yes.
Football
Big shout
Fico.
out.
Yeah, shout him
So
out.
we've had
Man.
Football Fico. We've had Lives.
Had an Arsenal collective come on now,
And
representing.
the results are still not improved, but that's besides the point.
I
Anyway,
love it.
We're here. You know what the socials are. You know what we're here for. And we're going to get right into it, man. Liverpool. Still winning. Still winning. Still getting the job done. 8 points ahead of Leicester.
Let's see it now.
11 points ahead of Manchester City.
Listen, when they lost Laporte, I said it. Could be a big, big miss, and that defence has not looked the same ever since. I mean, for all the good football they play, for all the tiki-taka and into movement. Yesterday, I was seeing, you were saying, what, Kyle Walker's moving up to centre mid, was it? So, I mean, like...
He's starting to tinker.
All good, they're attacking football, but defensively, they just look soft for me. And I think it was another one of them games where last week, Fernandinho looked good, and then again, this week, it just looks the other way. So... how it could go for them this season. For me, I think it's more of a thing where Liverpool deserve more credit, though, than taken away from City.
They've lost one game.
They've won one game in the last 52. And the last 52 league games in the Premier League, they've lost one.
Ridiculous.
Game.
Like,
It's, yeah, I mean, we did do the question last week, innit, about can Liverpool go unbeaten? Now we all just like rear off. But when you're looking at it, we're nearly halfway point through the season. They ain't lost.
That's the
game.
second time we've looked at it, because we looked
Yeah,
at
this
it
has been
originally
real.
when they were getting the 90th minute winners
Yeah.
and stuff like that. When we thought, oh, they're getting a bit of VAR luck.
Yeah.
But when you look into it, there's actually no VAR luck.
yeah.
They're literally just
Listen,
managing to beat teams.
when
just
Van
think
Dijk is scoring brace, you know the title's
Listen,
coming.
Yeah.
big
When
headers.
come on, I call him the skipper because I know Henderson's the captain, but on
He
the
is-
pitch,
he is
you
the
look
real
at
leader.
Van Dijk, yeah. It's mad because all yesterday I was saying the captain's goal, and I was like, wait, he's not
He's
even
not
the
the
captain.
captain.
Literally.
But honestly, like that's I know companies was later in the season and stuff, but if Liverpool dropped points here after City just dropped significant points, if Liverpool went and dropped points, it would have been a mad disappointment for them. So for him to score those 2 goals before they're gonna go off to the club world, I mean, it's just perfect for them, right? This season's just literally
I just
perfect.
don't think going the whole season unbeaten is still realistic. Because if you remember, was it City last year or the year before, where they went 19 games,
Yeah.
dominating every single team, like 5s and 6s. So it's still early for me. I think maybe after Christmas, after January, and things start to look more clearer, I think we'll see. But this Liverpool team, I don't think anyone's getting close. And I mean, even on a Europe perspective, I think everyone's sleeping on it and just thinking they're going for the title. I think they could do both, Champions League
The thing is, the
and
reason-
League. Because you look at it, last 2 years, they've got to the final back-to-back now. What's to stop them doing it a third time?
That's where
You look at
I
the other
disagree.
big teams around Europe. Who can you point at and say
No.
they would definitely beat
But
Liverpool?
Nah,
that is where
I agree with
where I disagree, and I only disagree because
Yeah.
if you look in Europe, if you look at their away fixtures and whatnot over the last 2 seasons, especially in the group stages of last season, they've
Definitely,
proven that
yeah.
for some weird reason, maybe it's fatigue of games or whatnot, they can be had. I mean, if you look at their next game,
They're
if
definitely slow starters
if
in Europe.
Leipzig managed to beat them 2-1, they're out of the Champions League. This is the
Where is
reality.
it at? Is it Anfield?
I don't think that's
I
going to
think
happen.
I need to check, but I think it is. Now
I'll be
weekend.
surprised if
I don't
Liverpool
think that's
Liverpool
gonna
bounce out. I'll be surprised. Do you know what I mean?
Memorable.
I agree. I do
Remember-
agree
you
with.
remember
But at the same
Olympiacos
time-
last game?
Oh, 100%. I agree
Stevie
with
G?
that. 100%. But they're in a situation now.
Endo, yeah.
If they were so sick.
It's time, yeah.
His time,
This time, innit?
We're talking about Europe, right? And the way they're blowing away the league, they're not blowing away.
No, but the thing is,
Champions League.
even in the
and
league,
the thing is,
though,
they
I
can
don't-
kind of go through. They're not what. They're not blowing
That's
away
what I'm
people
saying.
here.
They're not blowing away anyone in
But
the league
bro,
either.
listen,
They're just
32
grinding
goals
results
scored,
out.
12 conceded. We're saying they're grinding results out.
Yesterday,
Teams
they won from 2 set pieces.
Teams are scared to beat them. You know that. This is what.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
when City beat everyone, and before you even
Before
played
kickoff.
City, that's what Liverpool
Teams had
got
the
now. They've got
Vaseline
this
ready.
kind of impression that, you know what, if you managed to beat us, you would have had to give everything.
Yeah.
Like, we've already beat you before we stepped foot into the pitch.
Mm.
But
There's-
what I wanted to touch on is we've actually mentioned the teams now. We've mentioned Champions League, so it's a nice little segue. If Klopp does manage to win this Premier League,
Yeah.
that will be a Champions League and a Premier League. In terms of his period in British football, would it be greater than Pep's if he manages to do that?
Yeah. Because I think you've got the best trophy in Europe and the best trophy in the league. And the fact that you actually beat Pep's team after they've gone on to be the record-setting team, for me, it's black and white. But Pep struggles, I've always said, in the Champions League since he's left Barcelona. And if you're telling me Klopp can take a Champions League and break Liverpool's league curse, I'm sorry. That he build that man a statue. That's the way it is. I'm sorry.
I can hear that, yeah. But what is, for me, which I can hear it. Like, if somebody thought Klopp, that's fine. But it's like, what's harder to do? Set the standard or beat the standard? Do you know what I'm trying to say? What's harder to do? Because Pep set the standard.
Yeah.
Anything that Liverpool are doing is because Pep set this standard. Do you know what I mean? This is how perfect you have to be to win a Premier League if you're going to win it. So what is harder to do? Come and break the mold, or do you know what I mean? Surpass.
Don't get me wrong.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I'm not even discrediting Guardiola when I say that. Like, what he's done is unheard of in the Premier League. Like, he's come and changed. Every team is trying to replicate what he's doing. But for me, it's like what they've done in Europe, like the back-to-back finals. I don't think people respect that enough. Yeah, and I think that's difficult to do. And then if they break, like, what was their last league title? 1990. 3 finals.
Yeah, we got to the Europa League.
The Europa as well. Yeah. So for me, it's, I don't know, but he lost that Europa final as well. So I don't know.
The thing is, like, the thing is, Liverpool, obviously, Klopp's job is a harder job that he had to come in and do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is,
the magnitude of what he's done, like the culture change. And I know City's culture was like one that was playing good football anyway. Yeah. But for me, what he's come and done to Liverpool, I don't think any other manager.
You know what the sticking point for me is? But again, if you're comparing them like for like, it's a bit tricky. But if you're saying in terms of whose job, Klopp's job wasn't to come in and make Liverpool a Premier League winning side, a Champions League winning side. It was.
I think it was.
No, I don't think it was.
I think eventually it was to be Premier League winners.
I think it was to be. I think initially when they came in and whatnot, it was build a project that somewhere in the future we're gonna be where.
Yeah, and this is the future, and this is where it is.
But Guardiola's one was you must come in and win Premier Leagues. You must dominate not only the Premier League but make sure that United are never seen again. You must win the Champions League.
They had a Champions League hoodoo before Pep came.
What's the
furthest? They couldn't get past.
What's the furthest? Yeah, but what's the furthest he's got?
They've only got quarters.
They've only got quarters.
So, but the thing is, like, okay, I do, and I hear that as well. But
again, it's tournament football.
That's solely in Europe, right?
Yeah.
But in the Premier League, 100 points we've never seen before. Most goals scored, most wins in a row. They broke every single record you can even imagine in that one season. And then to go and do it again the next year while bringing home the domestic treble, something again that hasn't been done, right? So, I mean, that is a ridiculous
even with
what
that
he's
domestic
done here.
treble, though, can we not admit even last season, every single cup they had the easiest run?
I hear that.
Can we not acknowledge that?
Yeah, I hear that.
You gotta win. And you have to beat what's in front of you.
Exactly. That's not a strong enough variable in this.
I think that gets over-credited. That's the thing. It's seen as like this domestic treble. But then when you see who they played in the semi-final, you're like,
that's football.
But the thing is that
what's the final? They beat Watford. How much?
Yeah. The thing is, you can lose games though. You can lose in tournaments. You can lose because, like, no offense to Spurs or whatever. If City went through Spurs, they would have been like, oh, they got an easier draw, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't.
League.
Exactly. No, but I'm just saying, but they didn't. So you got to beat what's in front of you. You still got to give it the credit to beat what's in front of you.
I think one of the key things is City I still think it's always harder to win a domestic league than tournament football. Hence, because the level of consistency. Exactly.
Klopp wins this.
Exactly. But again, how many has Guardiola won?
2. I mean, but he's got the Champions League. He's got the best trophy in Europe, and then he beat the guy who we're saying is the absolute
but
best.
Do you know what, for me, though,
and take into account, Liverpool are going to do it this season without having spent a penny in the summer.
Yeah, the thing is,
that is such man management and coaching that we have to give Klopp the credit for.
In terms of achievement, like, if I was to say, like, look, like, Liverpool are going to win the league, that is something that I would have never imagined after all these years. You know what I'm saying?
What Lambert and
you know, of course, even from when he picked him up. So when you look at it, and you could think, okay, Klopp's achievement if he wins the Prem is probably bigger than what Pep has done in terms of actual achievement. But it's the fact that Pep went and done it again the next season, the league again the next season,
and the style he done it in. Yeah,
to be one of the best teams ever, you've got to do back to back for me in the Prem. This Liverpool team, they're gonna go down for me as one of the best. Because listen, it's ridiculous what they're doing, like, we can't deny it.
Yeah.
But to be like fully factual, you're one of the best teams of all time in the Premier League. You've got to do back to back. Because as I said, I've bigged up the Invincibles. I've bigged up all these type of teams. Invincibles didn't do the back to back. I'm trying to say they didn't do back to back. So Chelsea did, City did, and United did. And those for me are the 3 best teams.
I'll throw in this curveball though. If not for one result, Liverpool would have probably won the league. They lost by what? One
one result against City.
So that could have been 2 Premier League titles.
Yeah.
So
it could have been, but it wasn't.
It wasn't, exactly. And the football comes down to fine margins. But I think in terms of the point about the trophies and whatnot, in terms of easy runs, look at the amount of luck that Mourinho got with Porto to the Champions League.
He beat United.
He did, but look at the amount of luck, the referee decision that happened in that game.
Yeah, we had.
No, but forget about being.
I mean,
we
we had Roy Carroll in
that
goal,
was
mate.
a bad decision in that game. So
That was we had a washed team.
Benny McCarthy.
United were
Christina,
over
Manish.
the hill at that point,
Exactly.
man.
So-
Nuno Valente.
Listen,
that
football's
Porto
mad,
team.
But to
I
be
mean-
fair, Liverpool won the Champions League. Jose's Chelsea didn't win Champions League. City haven't won the Champions League.
Well,
Like the Champions
So-
League is so difficult. Like sometimes I think we underestimate how difficult it is to win. Like no, it is difficult. I'm saying, but the fact that Liverpool have got to 2 finals for me, like, they deserve such massive credit.
I
for
think
Hold on, but you know you was going on about people's runs to the final.
Yeah.
The year before that, Liverpool had the
Very
easiest
true.
easiest
Yeah,
run.
Porto. They had
Hold on. If you
Porto.
look at who City have played in
To
the
be fair, they
Champions
beat
League under
City.
Pep.
They knocked out City.
They played Monaco. They got knocked out by. They got knocked out by Spurs. And who's the other
Yeah,
team?
they got knocked out
Don't
by
say that
Spurs.
with chest.
They got
Don't
knocked out
say
by
that
Liverpool.
with
They got
chest.
knocked out by
No,
Liverpool.
no,
say
They
that
got
with
back.
chest.
They
It's
got knocked-
facts.
it was
It's the
Liverpool.
facts.
It was Liverpool
It's
that
the
knocked them
facts.
out. It was
Don't say
Liverpool.
Can't fight facts.
Yeah, it was Liverpool that knocked them out. It was Liverpool.
There you go. So Liverpool themselves and destroyed them in their ground, wasn't it?
Yeah, they
There you
destroyed
go.
them.
So it's like,
But-
listen, you got to look at Pep's Champions League
I
record.
think
Well,
the
you know
champion.
what?
I think
You know what?
I think-
Sane's goal was legit.
I think the Champions League.
now it's pre-VAR
I think-
and post-VAR. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
I think-
Different generations of football.
I think the Champions League has been the reason, like how you said, it's difficult to win, and people are kind of like playing down how difficult it is to win. I think it's because when Real Madrid won that 3-peat, they only won
They
one
made it look
league in that
easy.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to say. So I think everyone started being like, oh yeah, but they're not good in the league.
Yeah.
So people have now made Real Madrid, I'm not trying to say normalized it, but they've kind of just made it out like, yeah, win the Champions League like what you don't. People don't even think they're that much of a great team compared to the Barcelonas and AC
Yeah.
Milans that have been about because of the league. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I feel like Real Madrid
Feel
winning
like
it
there's something
3-peat, which I think is a ridiculous feat. People just kind of playing it like, oh, it's just tournament.
It's just-
football.
Yeah,
That's how I
100%.
kinda see
No,
it.
that's
how I kinda
that's so
see it.
true. No, I agree with that. I agree
I
with
think
that.
there's another take in terms of with Champions League, there is a massive part of luck that plays in it. Like, again, look at Liverpool's run. They lost all their away games
Yeah.
and then got through and then managed to get to the final. I think with a league, you do need a lot of luck, but it's luck from other teams. For instance, Man City defenders are washed.
That semi-final second leg.
The thing is,
that
it's
luck?
about how much importance that you put on it. Like, because, like, for example,
For
Spurs
Liverpool, the
got to
Premier
the
League
final.
is
Spurs
everything.
got to
Yeah,
the final.
That's everything.
through
but-
VAR.
But like Spurs got to the final, but that's a difficult thing. But
before you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
Through
yeah.
VAR.
but yeah, you can say there's elements of luck and stuff, but it's the fact that Liverpool are still doing it in the Premier League as well.
Yeah,
So
you got to give
I
them
mean,
credit, man.
yeah,
But listen,
it's ridiculous.
let us know. We spoke about people taking smackings in Champions
And just quickly,
League.
sorry, my bad. With the City situation, with Laporte going out injured, I just think it's just too much of an excuse now.
Because you spent
Personally,
so much money.
it's too much of an excuse. Laporte isn't the reason why City are not running at the same intensity that they have since Pep's first season. Laporte isn't the reason why City aren't pressing as hard as they were.
Yeah.
Laporte is not the reason why KDB's form has suddenly taken a little bit of a hit.
Yeah.
Like, listen, Pep is starting to tinker all these type of things because he's moving confused. I don't like the excuse that it's Laporte or Laporte. Your
Here's the
team
thing
that
then.
spent
Do you think then
how
he's
much
going
money
through
has he
the?
spent?
Do you think he's going through the same thing then he went through at Barca, where
But I think
the
so.
motivation and it's like we'll come to Spurs later as well, but
Yeah.
the struggle to repeat the same message to the
Of
same
course,
group
of
of players
course,
again,
There's that,
especially
but-
when you've
Sorry,
won in the way they've won.
One second, bro.
Absolutely.
But for me, there's an issue there because in terms if you're struggling for motivation, right? You only beat the team that are winning now last season by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
How are you not motivated to go again and be like, you know what? I actually need to prove that my
Because
team
it's
is
not-
dominant.
Because
No,
do you
I
know
don't
how
think-
do you know
yeah.
you,
Do you
you
get
can
where I'm
look at
coming
it.
from?
I get what you're coming
Yeah.
from exactly, but then you can also look at it in the flip side where it could look like the best any team in history could have done. We still beat them. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even as good as our last season.
Yeah.
So you can look at it the other way. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Look, the thing is, yeah, sometimes
But
you
why
have
is
to make-
Guardiola? Thing is, we've spoken about Pochettino before. So and we said about how this and that about him. But why is it with Guardiola? It seemed to be alright now. Where when after he's won, it's kind of like, you know what? Oh, he's not motivated anymore. Why is that a valid
The
excuse?
thing is, for me, yeah, because
why is that a valid
I think the
excuse for when
reason-
his form drops?
Nah, I
you
think
don't
it's-
say it when
that's
he's
true.
winning.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think it's
We don't
because
say it when he gets to a semi-final or something.
That's
You know
true.
what? He's motivation. It's always when there's a little drop because you
Yeah.
know what? maybe his head's not there.
Yeah.
I think it's because Pep clean sweeps things. First of all, he clean sweeps things,
the
and in
second he
second,
doesn't.
and then Pep. Let's be real. Pep is
A runner.
Pep is one of the only managers who is actually judged by the Champions League. He has to win it, blah, blah, blah. So when he's not winning it, we're just thinking he's wrapping up leagues, but this is what he wants. This is what he wants. And that's the difference with any other manager. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We just think that Pep needs that Champions League. That's a different type of pressure. So then we know that because these City players have won, they've won their 2 leagues or whatever, we're thinking their only motivation now should be Champions League. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no,
that's
I
so,
hear you.
that's the way-
Even
so,
okay,
so now
so-
that they're slacking in the league, it kind of just looks like, oh, well, they've wrapped it up already.
So then are they going to try and put all their eggs in
but
the
where
Champions
is-
League
where is-
basket?
where-
where is that motivation
See
in
the
the Champions
difference.
League?
See the
You
difference
can't
with
just
me.
switch it on and off like
The
that.
difference with me with Pep and the difference with me with Pep and like
That's why it didn't
Ferguson,
work
for
at Bayern.
example.
That's
With
why it
Pep
didn't
and
work at Bayern.
Ferguson, with Alex Ferguson, when Man United were going on our good runs of winning leagues and something, there was always a drastic change in the team. And whether that's a big player leaving
Yeah.
or whether that's a big player coming in, it doesn't matter.
100%,
That's
yeah.
the thing. With this
Also,
City
every
team,
4 years or so, he said
somebody
he
will
gets
go
stale.
now. Whether that means it's because he fell out with Stam, I don't know. If that's because he fell
Van
out with
Nistelrooy.
Beckham, I don't know. Van Nistelrooy, I don't. Whatever the reason is, he still added. Remember when we had Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo? He still bought.
Tevez
Berbatov.
had to go, yeah.
Doesn't matter. He still bought, and Tevez had to go. Van Persie came later. There's always a drastic change.
Rooney
But
had
with
to
this
go then,
City
yeah.
team, even though they bought Rodri, like come on, man, he's still having to adapt. There's not a real drastic
He's not-
change
he's not
from the
adapted as
team
well,
that
yeah.
started winning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got, and I'm not saying sell Aguero or anything like that, but that might be what you needed to do. Something drastic like that. Take someone
That's a
out.
big
Some,
shout.
not saying sell Aguero, but
No,
I'm saying,
no,
no, no.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, no.
Maybe that's it. David Silva,
I had to make sure you
but
cover
see you
that.
later. No
And
more
then-
games this
Okay, what about the
You don't
company
know.
You could be
thing,
right, because that's
Company leaving was a big thing for
No
them.
replacement.
no,
though.
but the thing is
the
that's
difference.
the key bit.
That's
And
the
I was
okay,
difference.
so that's
Replace
fair.
him,
But that
go
was
and
the-
sign
that was
Koulibaly
the,
or
that was
whatever.
the
You
double
never know.
whammy I was gonna say was when I mentioned the Laporte thing at the start of the season was the fact that they lost Company as well. Was they could always rely if someone got injured, Company would
he
step
could
in
slot
off the
in,
bench.
and he did
had a
good.
couple of games in him to be able to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
last
Now
year
they
he
don't
still
have
played
that.
about 17
But
games.
I hear what you're saying. With,
Do you know what I mean?
in
You
regards-
got always freshen it
Nah,
up.
100%.
City, if you look at when City win the leagues, especially when Pep, because he done
Even
he
when
done back to
came
back.
in, he did that with Joe Hart, Yaya Toure.
Exactly.
He
He
said,
said, you know what,
something-
you man.
like you
Yeah.
lot have gone through this Pellegrini
Yeah.
Mancini era, something fresh. in
Wait,
his
Look
hand.
at when
He
City
brought
won
him
the
out.
leagues.
Would
Look
you
at
say
when
the
City won
Bravo?
the leagues.
Would you say the
They-
Bravo one counts as that as well? Because Bravo was dead, and it was like, you know what?
Nah,
spent
because
big on the-
he's
But
not a
think
big
about it.
player. He's not
No.
a big player.
Okay,
That
talk
doesn't
about-
shake up the squad.
talk
Bravo
about when-
leaving doesn't shake up the
No,
squad.
but okay. What about when he spent how many million on a whole new defense?
Yeah, that's something.
So
yeah.
basically you're
But
saying that
I'm
for
saying
him-
it's once the success comes. That was because they were
Okay.
losers. The thing is, when you look at
Okay,
it, look at
that's fair.
City. When Mancini won the league, the next season they didn't have a good year. Yeah. If you look at when Pellegrini won the league,
Same
the
thing
next
happened.
season because City just don't
They lack
refresh
that
when they win it. Yeah,
continuation,
Pep did it with the back-to-back. But come on, 3-peat. That is not an
That's
easy
difficult,
thing to
yeah.
do, man.
Only
That's
Fergie's
not
done that,
easy.
man.
Like,
But
so
listen,
that's
there's
my
someone I
take on
want
it.
to touch on. Last week, E-Man gave a moment of silence for our dear friend
Nigga Poch.
Poch.
Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah,
My
let's
guy.
just give Emery 5
Everyone
seconds.
bow
man.
your heads.
Oh,
Give him
Emery.
free, give him free.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
5
Fuck Emery,
seconds.
man.
No, it's not fair, free.
Let's get into it.
I mean, it
Deserved.
was happened.
I'll be
Deserved.
honest. Before we
Deserved.
before we go into it, I'm not going to speak on Emery. I feel like I've spoken on Emery enough. I think we've spoken on Arsenal matters enough.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows what this is with Emery. Okay, cool. Whatever happens, boom. In terms of who you think should come in or would be a good fit to come in, who and why? First things first, though. Freddie Lumberg, you're a madman.
Bro.
A man is wearing...
The Valentino drip. He said,
and then motorcycles there in F50s. Nah.
I love that. I love
This
that.
is ridiculous.
Big drip.
But yeah, who would you say should come in? I've
Look,
got a wild shot.
I've said, look, I said the other week that Allegri wouldn't go to City, right? I mean, so to go to Arsenal, right? And then everyone was like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot," but all this type of rubbish. Then it comes out that he doesn't want to go to Arsenal. So it's just kind of like it comes out. They were linked with him. They contacted him. He still wants to continue his sabbatical.
Yeah.
So in retrospective views, Allegri has turned down Arsenal, which I said that he would do. So now it's funny because now Arsenal fans are starting to they're picturing how Nuno would do there. So what was so funny about when I said Eddie Howe? Or what was so funny about when I said Brendan Rodgers? I was crazy when I said them,
Listen,
but now you're envisioning
Brendan
Wolves
now-
manager as your manager. You will
Listen.
take Brendan Rodgers now. He's flipping second in
Listen,
the league.
it's like I said to
You
you,
take
because he's
him.
foreign Nuno, they'll take him. But in all honesty, I don't know who could come in at Arsenal because they've had Wenger for 20 odd years. It's hard to see them becoming a club where it's revolving door type of thing now. Like Unai,
I think that's the.
I think
that's the nature of football now.
That's
the
what
nature
it's
of football.
becoming now. But
Football
it's one of those
now
for me.
is-
You've made like with Unai, I felt like they took their time in hiring because they said, yeah, he's got a track record of winning the Europa Leagues.
Do you know what they've done with Unai?
PSG, he's managed a big team. Let's bring him in.
Do you know what they've done with Unai? And when you look back at it now, it kind of makes sense why everything happened the way it happened. They looked at a manager that had some big player experience at PSG, and you know what? It's kind of an easy passage to win. Sevilla, he managed to try and compete with the big dogs, didn't do much.
Yeah, they thought
Came
he'd
to
bring the best of both
Arsenal,
worlds.
best of both worlds, didn't really happen. So where do you go from that now?
Listen,
The thing
I
is, like,
don't know,
generally, I keep saying this, but I honestly think in a situation like this, you can't have a young manager at Arsenal. You can't have with everything that's gone on in terms of the fans, the players, and whatnot. You can't. You need a manager that understands that, you know what, I need to make good signings or need to make sure that the defense can actually defend. So you need someone that's experienced. Most experienced managers who want big checks are not going to go to a club that's sitting 8th at the moment and probably won't be able to climb up all the way
say
like that.
Big Sam, please.
No, I'm not going to say Big Sam. Generally, if he was available, if he was up for it, I would say that right now, even if it was a 2-year stint, Rafa Benitez is probably the sort of name you have to look at.
The thing is, look,
that is the reality of the situation.
The thing is,
Arsenal are in.
This is
No.
That is the reality situation.
I get what you're trying to say.
That's
I get what
the
you're saying.
situation.
But the way Arsenal needs to look at it is that Arsenal, no matter what, they're gonna try and keep their kind of like tradition of what they are. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
and
Of
what
what
heritage.
let me not say of what they are, because George Graham was 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's where the chant came from. So Arsenal was solid. Yeah, I mean they were a solid team that they just win 1-0, whatever.
Yeah.
Then so I'm gonna say they're trying to continue the tradition of what Wenger is, right? So that's why Emery came in, someone that can play great football or whatever and can coach or whatever.
But Emery's
It didn't
track
work out. Yeah,
record-
it didn't
Emery's
work
track
out.
before he even got there. Was kind of, I can do stuff, but listen, I'm gonna get slapped up.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not gonna. For me, Arsenal are not gonna go to Benitez because they're trying to keep that. Look, they can look at Man United as an example of changing philosophies that does not work out. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Now, whoever takes over, Ole needs to kind of have a similar kind of range of ideas. Do you know what I mean? You can't be Benitez comes in and then okay, you give Benitez 2 years. You know Benitez not going to be your manager for 5 years.
100%,
Are you going to go and sign young players for
100%.
Benitez?
But
Are you going to go and do that type of stuff? You're not going to do that.
Here's what I
So
disagree with.
I don't find that as a logical. I don't find that as a logical appointment. Now, if it was interim, if Benitez came in now and said, "Listen, let me get the job until the end of the year," perfect. We might even sneak
Might
top
even
four.
get top four.
You don't even know. But
Shit house
Chelsea
right.
get
Bare
FA
1-0.
Cup and whatnot,
exactly.
but
No,
the reason why
I wouldn't
I
do that
said
long term.
that I don't agree there is because you mentioned United, right? When United first did the transition, it was like, you know what, we need someone that's the mold. It was David Moyes because it was kind of, the similar boyhood story and whatnot. Didn't work. After that, you went to who?
LVG. Now, the complete football opposite you can imagine between David Moyes and LVG.
And then
you know what I'm
LVG
trying to
to
say?
Jose Mourinho.
And then LVG to Jose Mourinho. It's a mess. You
And
don't want that.
I'll be real with you.
don't
I
want
think
to repeat
those
that.
two now are in the same position, United and Arsenal, where
Thank you.
the next man who comes in
It's so important. But where does that density come
it's so
from?
important, but they
It
beggars
decides
can't be
everything.
choosers
It
as
decides-
well.
And
like those two are not in prime position now to be saying
You can't pick who
Allegri,
you want unless you're
Pochettino.
getting full
It's
money.
like United
again,
might have to ride it out with Oli. I'll be honest with you.
You've mentioned the board, bro. And let's break it down for what it is. Because we're talking about Arsenal now. Longbow came in, right? The squad was pretty much the same squad you expect to see, and they played exactly the same way. But for me, that comes back to the board because look at the recruitment that was done. Longbow came out and said that he didn't think Pepe looked great, so he didn't play him.
Yeah.
So you spent
Who did he play?
77 million.
Two others.
You spent 77 million on a winger when you knew your defense was rubbish. And so why was that money, again, big decisions, why was that not invested? Why did you not
I think they should have signed a defender, right?
Saliba,
innit? They shouldn't have loaned
And
him
then
back,
went back to
whatever. But
loan.
they should have done a defender. But in terms of like profile, I think Pepe was a suitable signing for them. Like I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
is that,
no,
what,
Pepe.
is that what you needed?
I think
is
he
that,
was a
but
suitable
is that
signing.
what
I think
you
when
need?
you're doing 5-year splits for your finances just to get a player,
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it.
Is that
Unless,
what you need?
the
unless
thing
he's
is,
an absolute guaranteed.
the thing
Boom.
with
Can I
Arsenal,
Can I
the
give
thing
you
is
a
what
quick
Arsenal.
example?
Yeah,
You
go
know when
on.
Jose came back, right? Jose looked at Chelsea and said, you know what, cool, I need to strengthen my spine. One striker, one centre mid, boom. And ironically, when we go and speak about Chelsea, we'll be able to point out key things. But he said, you know what? I need things that are core, that can stand for a while, and that what I actually need, not something that's an accessory. Did they need Pepe? Was it imperative that they went to go and spend 77 million on a winger? It was not imperative.
They needed fullbacks and a centre back more. Yeah,
that was imperative. And again, that for me comes down to, okay, what as a club are you trying to do? But that has to be the question you have to ask it.
I can hear that. But apparently, obviously, this is just reports and stuff. I'm hearing that the board is even split up there as well. Like Raul has a different ideas to Vinay or something like that. Like there's a lot of, so until that mess up there is sorted out, it's not. Everything starts from the top. No, but I was reading it, innit? Everything starts from the top, and then it filters down. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, one thing that Man United fans and Arsenal fans need to realize is, we were very, very blessed to have a manager for 20-something years, yeah?
Because it's not the norm.
That's not the norm. That is not going to happen again. Do you know what I mean? That whole idea of a manager's going to come in and do a mad job for long years.
Especially at top clubs as well.
It felt like Poch was at Spurs forever, but he was only there for 5 years. And look at the manner in which Spurs just got rid of him. This is the modern day. This is football today. So... But that's just the way it is. That's one thing that we have to wake up to.
You might go to that mid-table team or whatnot, and they've had their manager for 7 years. But that's what a lot of those teams used. Even those teams now.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, but even those teams are starting to change their managers. And
so, okay, the question was,
who do you reckon?
Who would you put in the hat? I would put Brendan Rodgers. Yeah,
he's not leaving Leicester. So
I hear that, but I'll put him. I'll try.
Okay, cool.
I'll put Brendan Rodgers. I'll put Nagelsmann from
Ten Hag.
Yep. I'll put Ten Hag. I'll put Eddie Howe,
Tuchel from
and they want to take. Now they're linked with Nuno. I'll put Nuno. I'll put Nuno there.
PSG, Thomas Tuchel in there.
I don't think
it's the same.
I think he'll be gone.
I don't know.
By the summer.
For me, it's the same thing continuing.
That's a good shout.
Because I think stylistically wise as well, and the players he signs, I think he's much better at signing.
The thing about Nuno, the thing that's good about Nuno though is that
Prem experience.
Not only Prem experience, is that if you look at Wolves' record in the big games for a team of that size, not like gonna say the Liverpool level, but if for a team of that size, they do well. They don't do the greatest against the lower sides all the time, but he does come with a little bit of a pragmatic nature in the big games.
He plays 5 at the back.
Yeah, which bring results though.
But he has the personnel to do it.
That's something that Arsenal don't have.
He has the personnel to do it.
Fans have been crying about Unai's style of play right now. I'm sorry, under Nuno, as soon as results start turning, fans always use these style stick over there to beat managers with. So for me, it's one of those.
So then take
until they start actually prioritizing results, shit ain't gonna change.
Listen, I'll be honest. I think Arsenal, like you said, beggars can't be choosers.
They can't.
And again, if Arsenal's and United's the way they've been acquiring managers is anything to go by, you're not prizing anyone that's in the job out. So you're looking for free agents.
But at the same time, like,
let's be real.
Look at these players, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly though, like, you can't even give Ljungberg a win on his debut game. Like, interim jobs.
First couple games you're meant
to
have that
the jump in the step.
Bro, like, when you have an interim, it's like
let's
mandatory that you have a first win.
Ozil started Mustafi, started Xhaka.
Wait, listen, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't even know why.
Spun out of his loaf,
bro. Like, he proves why he was in the fucking freezer.
The thing is, come on, man. Like, look, Ole got the job obviously because of this crazy run. Jose is now in. Boom! Instantly, you're starting to win games. Goose Hiddink, Robert Di Matteo, all of these men.
Benitez
when you
Chelsea.
Benitez, it comes in. You get it. Like, how can you not even give man a win on his first?
No, but they might win the next one.
Do you know what they'll say? Under Unai, we would have lost that.
Yeah, it's true.
Under Unai, we would. Which they probably would have actually.
But yeah, man.
Listen, they would.
Another topic. Anyway. Chelsea have lost again.
You was in Mayo last week's loss, innit?
Yeah, I went to the mountain still.
No hiding place. No hiding place this week.
Wait, where'd you go? You went to reconnect with the soil, yeah?
I went to the mountain, man. I went to see the Oracle.
Tell us more.
It didn't come through. Question here is, have Chelsea been found out?
All right, let's flip the question. You answer it, mate.
Have Chelsea been found out?
Yeah, you answer it.
I would say we haven't been found out. I would say, like you say, the proof's been in the pud. If we've said from the beginning of the season, right, that the defense looks shaky, and Chelsea have been winning games 5-2 and all of this and all of that, when teams start suddenly beating us 2-1, does that come as a surprise that teams are actually managed to beat a shaky defense? I think the key thing is, and like I've always said to you, when you've gone in on Tammy, I've not got angry at you. I've said, you know what you're saying is fair. Because at the end of the day, When Mourinho came in, what did he do? He bought a big striker and said, you know, I need a striker that's going to score on all occasions. That's no slight on Tammy. Tammy's a good striker. Tammy's doing well. But at the end of the day, when you have a big game, you need someone that's always going to step up to the occasion.
Giroud.
That's where... Imagine, your striker's injured. You're starting with Giroud. I was fuming. What? You know when I saw that? Yeah, I said,
in
2019.
But come on, man. Guys like Giroud last year, fam. Don't try.
I heard that, but that's
when Giroud was doing his bits last year, they liked him, fam. Don't come with that now.
That's Giroud that's playing like almost week in, week out.
Yeah.
Giroud has hardly played this year. He played a bit for France.
So who's meant to play?
A couple minutes.
Where was Batshuayi?
He was on the bench.
Listen, Batshuayi clearly is not good enough. Not one manager has rated Batshuayi.
No one rates him.
No one has rated him.
But I see him scoring.
There's something he's not doing correctly.
Too
No
many
manager
Instagram
rates
posts.
him. Like how many managers do I have to go through that doesn't rate him? He's just not good enough. It's as simple as that. I would trade Giroud myself.
You asked me, if have Chelsea been found out?
At home to West Ham, bro. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be losing that game.
You shouldn't be losing that game, but that's probably
And you haven't. And what's your record in your last 5 games? I saw your last 5 games. You guys have only got how many wins?
3
wins.
3 wins.
You got 3 wins.
You in your Champions League you drew,
Oh,
right?
you mean all games? All
competitions.
Yeah,
all competition. No, we lost West Ham, lost to City.
You lost to West Ham, lost City. You
Drew
drew against
Valencia.
You drew against Valencia.
Yeah.
So
And we won a Prem game in between that.
and you beat what?
Yeah.
In your last 5, you won 1.
Yeah.
So then there is something that is going on at Chelsea.
Not
Not
even
going
that.
on, but it's a very big dip in form.
I wouldn't even call it a dip.
And Tammy was available for them games.
Here's the thing. No.
but you pointed out
I'm
games.
not trying to run that in
You
him. He
keep trying
was
to kill
available.
Tammy, yeah.
He just said Tammy, fam.
No, wait.
What the hell?
No, wait.
I am. I'm trying to leave him.
No, wait.
He was available.
But the thing is,
What the
a
hell?
couple weeks ago we had a discussion about Lampard. We
Yeah.
were talking about was he the real deal when he was on that hot runner patch
Yeah.
of form.
So is
Certain
it?
man in here were telling me he's the real deal.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to know
Okay.
those same big games you mentioned, the 2 against United,
Yeah.
the 2 against Liverpool,
Yeah.
Valencia twice now,
Yeah.
Ajax, West Ham at home. These are all games in which, I'll be real with you, you know what you lot look like? Arsenal from 10 years ago. No leadership on the pitch, weak at the back all the time. And you're playing nice football with the youth as well. I respect that, which Arsenal were as well. But honest to God, Lampard tactically in them games is getting found out. But he's not making the changes when you lot are losing and shit to actually bring you lot back into games. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'll be honest with you. I think that's
Is like
I
the
think that's a
false nine
narrative.
nonsense is just
What,
about to
Pulisic
bring up as
done a
well.
false
When
nine
yesterday
thing,
when he brought Giroud off, he
Yo,
tried
is-
to play some false nine on this side.
Oh,
bro,
he put Pulisic
that is
false
not how
nine?
you go to win a game.
Oh,
Like Batshuayi's not even coming on.
man.
So this is the real deal.
Pulisic
I'll be
false
honest with you.
nine.
Is
I'll
this
be
the
honest
real
with
deal?
you.
With
The
Diop
Champions
and
League
them man
game.
there.
Champions
Come on,
League
man.
game.
That's baby.
When
food, man.
Batshuayi came on,
Bonner and that.
what did he do? When Batshuayi came on in that midweek game, what did he do? The ball bounced off of him for the whole entirety of the game.
Yeah, that was
At the end, on the left foot, but after that.
So then, why are you complaining about Giroud? Right, listen.
Giroud
At least
didn't
one
do
thing
nothing,
is
bro.
the ball doesn't bounce off Giroud. That ball sticks with
This is
Giroud.
what I'm coming back
saying
to in
little
terms
flicks.
of when
Bro.
Jose came in. Jose made his 2 signings that he knew he was going to strengthen.
Yeah, but
with.
Lampard can't sign, mate.
Exactly. So we need to see if we get the January now. Let's see if he's going to sign in one because it's clear
Are
to
you-
me.
Have you guys got? Are you allowed
Forget
to sign
signings.
in
I'm
They're still
talking
coming to the thing.
tactically.
So tactically,
Like
What-
all these
what
games
you-
he's
what you
getting
asking?
clapped in. Like,
No,
you're
but for me,
playing
what you
like
asking?
football. What is going on?
No. For me, yeah.
so
Like them man
bro,
look
sorry,
soft
one second,
centre.
one
I'm
second.
sorry, but that defense.
So I'll ask
like
you.
why is Zuma
I'll
still
ask you
playing
this.
week in week out? I'm
I'll
sorry.
ask, I'll
Zuma-
ask you this. I'll ask you
Zuma's
this.
not the standard.
You're saying
nah.
that we're playing good football and whatnot, but we're getting found out here and there, right?
in the
Lampard-
big games. Every time you play a level of competition that seems to test that young squad, their inexperience shows straight
No,
away.
but
And I'm wondering why
first things first.
what Lampard is doing about
First
that,
things first.
if he's the real deal.
They are inexperienced. Let's put it out there. They are inexperienced. That's number one. Number two, someone is sticking to their philosophy of football clearly, right? And you're saying that they should change it to be more pragmatic.
This is exactly what I meant about you lot sound like Arsenal. Arsenal used to do this stylistically, philosophy nonsense. Chelsea were always about results. Lampard needs to switch on and get back his playing mentality. Not this, I'm a young youth developing manager. Look,
So where are we? You're acting like he's
Bust the-
Nah, to
you're
be
acting
fair,
like
let's
he's
be
performing-
fair.
You're acting
They're
like he's
still-
performing
they're
like
still-
Oli.
they're
We're
still-
flipping
yeah.
full.
Yeah.
Where are Chelsea supposed to
Let me
be
tell you
right now?
something. Let me tell you
After
something.
signing,
Let me tell you something,
bro,
yeah?
1 second, bro.
When-
Bro, 1
before
second.
Jose
Bro,
came,
1 second.
they were
Bro,
12
1
points
second.
ahead of us.
Bro, 1 second.
Where are they now?
Bro, 1 second.
6.
You've won 2
Yeah?
games and we've lost 1. So
We're
you've
coming.
climbed up
Lost
the
two,
league.
lost two.
I'm
You've
letting you
climbed
know
up the
we're
league.
coming.
But bro,
Word of warning.
word of
We're
warning.
coming.
I think you know what. Shake my hand. Thank
Jose
you. Jose.
Wade.
Jose. I love this.
Just
I love
know.
this. I love this.
We're
And you know I love.
coming,
And you know I love this because when the manager starts having bust ups with Harry Kane
Jose
and Harry
Wade.
Kane's handing transfer request to go United, I want to see the same Jose Wade then.
Nah, listen.
Let's keep it real, yeah. Where are Chelsea realistically supposed to be right now? After playing with young players and whatnot, we're still hopefully going to qualify for Champions League. We're still in top 4.
Yes, for now.
So
For
if you
now,
balance out
I'm
everything,
saying,
if you
for-
balance out everything, we are where we're supposed to be.
you're doing
My issue
so
is
far, so
my
good.
issue is like I've always said, I hold Chelsea to a high standard. So being 4th is not enough for me.
The
But
thing
I
is, if
can't
you
expect
hold
to
no,
be
but the
second
thing
or
is,
first.
if you, this is where Chelsea fans get it like a little bit mixed up because if you hold Chelsea to a higher standard, yeah, when these results come, you won't have many excuses. You'll point the finger at the gaffer, right? With you, what's happening now is that you guys say you got high standard, and then as soon as it goes wrong, you start saying, "Oh well, this is where we're meant to be. This is what I expect." Now, if you hold yourself to a higher standard, then you guys should be
What did I
saying,
say about the
"Listen,
time
we
and
shouldn't
stuff?
be 6 points behind Leicester. We should be, we should be pushing for it." So you can't
Like,
really,
literally.
you can't
No, but
go back and
when
go
have
for
I
it, you know
not
what I mean?
said when we will come to see? What did I say before that game?
You said you're gonna beat City.
I was goddamn saying that we're going to beat City.
You
'Cause
said-
that's what I
Said
expect.
Tammy was gonna
That's
score.
what I expect. Losing to West Ham is not a good result, but at the end of the day, listen, you move on, you start trying to win again.
Bro,
What you lot are trying
I-
to do right now
I'm
is
gonna say
you
this
are
after we
acting.
lose.
Listen, you are acting like
I'm
Chelsea
saying
are
that's it,
performing
innit?
how
I'm
Spurs are
saying
performing.
Chelsea
back-to-back
don't
defeats, and every big game so far, you lot have
So
stumbled.
what? You're not
Christmas
allowed to
period
back,
ain't
you're not
even
allowed to
come
have
yet.
back-to-back defeats.
Christmas
the
period
way I
ain't
see
You're not
it,
allowed to
now,
have back-to-back defeats.
the way I see it though, like,
Okay, cool.
there is
Remember you said that.
there is some things that
Remember you said it. You're not allowed to have back-to-back defeats
I never said
because for some odd reason, losing now, you have
No,
to jump off
I'm
a cliff.
asking questions.
The original
I'm
question
asking
is,
questions.
have
What is
Chelsea
real
been
deal
found
Lamps
out?
doing?
The real question was, have Chelsea been found out?
But against Valencia 11th in their league, bro, and they sucked you man about, bro. That's fact.
Man said you man like you're not a Chelsea fan. This
We're going
pussy.
on like Valencia heavyweights.
Wait, listen. With that game, listen, that one, like you said, tactically, that one,
Listen,
we don't
all
shop
we're
shop. There's
saying-
one thing. Tell you what, let me be real. There's one thing we don't do. We don't shop, and the set pieces thing is another thing that's a bit. But there again,
but that's
it's
got to
like
be coached in it, right?
that's. And he's starting and
deal
he's trying.
Lamps.
At the beginning, remember when you were saying that Zuma's playing rubbish, and now Zuma's looking at one of our best players.
But he's not playing that good.
He's playing a lot better than he
Like,
was.
bruh.
You said coach
Just
is
'cause he's
a
playing
lot
better, don't
than he
mean-
was.
This come
So
like
what is he supposed
when
to be
this
doing?
come
I
like
don't
when
know.
Man
What's he
United
supposed to
this
do?
this
It's not the
come
level.
like when United gave Luke Shaw Player of the Year, man.
You know, tell me what.
You guys are on
So
track.
tell
You guys
me
are
what
on track.
Lampard's supposed to
Hold
do.
on, you guys are on track to probably concede 50 goals this season, and you're gonna tell me that your centre back is one of your best players. You're on
Did I
track.
say he's one of
You're
our
on
best
track.
players?
Yes, you did. You just
I
said
said
that.
he's been better. I
You
didn't
said
say
he's been one of your best players,
I
bro.
said he's been
You said
better.
You see,
Hey,
the way
listen,
the
I said
words
he's
tweak
been
and
better.
change.
You said
I
he's
said
been one of
he's
your
been
best
better.
players.
Let's
Hey, listen,
relax.
we got that on the track,
Let's
man. We got that on the record. You said he's been one of your best players.
Let's relax.
You said that he's been one of
In
your best
terms
players.
of okay, what do you think Lampard should be doing then?
I think as I said, I'm more in the
So what do you think
camp.
he should be doing?
But I'm saying there might need to be a little point. Listen, form if it's not in one win in the last 5 games, that means there is a drop in form.
So-
there is a drop in form.
So-
Stuff needs to be adjusted. Stuff like
What?
stuff like Mason Mount is obviously out of form right now. He's still getting
Gone off
starts.
the boil
He's gone
completely.
off the ball. Little things
Tammy's
like that.
injured
Try
now.
something. You can always try something different, bro. All I'm saying is I'm seeing the same
But
thing.
I'm not hearing
seeing,
answers.
I'm seeing, bro. We're not the board, mate.
I'll
We're
be
not
honest.
The board. We're not the board. We're just.
But
we're
this
just
is what I
giving our
said.
opinion.
If we can sign players, it's calm. If Loftus-Cheek comes back, I think that makes a big difference because he's a midfielder that can offer a goal-scoring option. In terms of Willian and Pedro, I've said it as well. William and Pedro look dry. They look dry.
Yeah, but okay.
But what?
Oh, yeah,
so
okay,
wait,
but
but he's
I-
looked dry
okay,
recently. In
okay,
the last
okay.
5 games, he's looked dry.
All right, so William and
everything-
Pedro have looked dry.
Mount's looked dry.
Where's
Loftus-Cheek is the big
Hudson
hope.
Odoi? He's sitting on
Hudson.
the bench.
What?
Whose decision is that? That's Frank Lampard. He's sitting on the bench. He's doing chats of HD cuts when he can't even get a game. Like, come on, man. Honestly, he's doing chats of HD cuts. He can't even get a game, mate.
Yo,
what's going
180K.
on? You
Must
guys
be a
gave him
reason.
180K. Where
Who
is he?
gave
Must
him the
be a
new
reason.
deal
Where
as well?
is he?
Must be a reason.
So
he's
who
not
gave
getting
him the
games.
new deal?
Frank Lampard is the one that makes
Listen,
this. If you're
in Frank
complaining,
we trust.
if you're
There must be a
complaining
reason.
about Willian and thingy, then why is Hudson Odoi not playing?
There must be a reason. But in the last 5 games, he's looked a bit shaky as well. But there must be a reason why he's not starting. That's all I can say.
Cho, listen, you better sort it out because 180K chats
This is
with
it.
HD cuts, all that type talking about this person is strongest, that person is strongest.
Work
I'm
on
not seeing
your
you
game,
nothing
lad.
on the pitch.
Work
And this is
on
the guy
your
that
game.
they're gonna call up for England. Listen, when you got Jack Grealish doing what he's just been doing today, but just shout a little special mention to how you lot got absolutely dominated by Declan Rice.
No, he
So I'm
played
gonna
well.
give him his
He
credit.
played very well.
So Declan Rice
played well.
actually
He
schooled
played
them.
well.
And that was his
And you
best
know what?
performance that
Boss.
he has played for West
Do
Ham.
you know what?
For the team that released him at 15
That's
years
what I was
old.
about to say.
absolute
Boss.
boss
For that, he
Absolute
deserves
Boss.
a lot of. And do you see the interview afterwards?
Yeah, that is
The
that's
interview
what
afterwards.
I like to see.
But at the end of the day, when a team plays like that, you've got to give him credit. They played well.
Has he qualified for HD cuts? No. Is he going to do HD cuts video
Might
as
do
well now?
Smoky
After-
Bobbles.
oh,
Use
yeah,
Smoky
yeah.
Bobbles.
Like, listen,
But
I
no,
don't know.
West Ham played well. That's what we have to take into consideration. They played well. They played
But
well.
the West Ham were
Chelsea-
away. They should have.
They played
That's
well.
What I'm saying.
They
should've
played
been.
well.
Like
You're acting like you've not lost the home game this
We have,
season.
we
There
have,
we
and
go.
I
So
said
what
we
are we
were
saying?
poor.
With your losses this
But-
season, your 4 losses, how many have been at home? Has it been like 3?
It was majority of them because we
3.
won all our away games.
Mate.
And then we had a patch where the home games got built, and then
Listen,
we started doing stupid
at
shit.
home, so then there might
Don't
be
let
something at
this
home that
slip.
he needs to switch
What, the
up.
fans?
I mean, something he might need to switch something up at home.
don't let this
Might be
slip.
different.
What are you saying? What?
Don't
We're
let
saying
this
what? Spurs
slip.
finishing third?
That's all I'm saying.
Are you saying
Don't let
Make a
this
shot.
slip. I'm just saying.
Make a
Chelsea,
shot?
Do not let this slip.
Make a
That's
shot.
the
a
12-point
fact.
gap.
It's
Make
the
a
fact.
shot.
Had a 12-point gap,
Make a
Chelsea
shot.
fans. Do not
Make
let
a shot.
this slip.
Make a shot.
Please, for your sake,
Make a shot.
don't let this slip.
Make a shot.
Listen, let's close the show.
What's your?
Jose way.
You're such an idiot. Listen,
We
that's another
covered.
episode.
I didn't
Make sure
even
you
realize
subscribe to all of the DSPs and whatnot. That's another episode, man. We're out. Man said, don't let this slip. Made no shout.